All right, good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us. Apologize for being a little bit late. Practice went a little late. I will call on you based on the raise your hand feature. We have about 10 minutes with Coach Seider, so if you can, please limit to one question, okay? Let's start with Mark Brennan with Fight on State. Go ahead, Mark.
J1, thank you today for coming on with us.
No problem, guys.
Hey, I noticed on the spring roster that Keyvon's listed at 238. How is he carrying that weight, and how did he test at that weight? Thank you.
Yeah, the weight hasn't been a problem for him. I mean, you look at his lower half, he's built. I mean, he's probably down more. I mean, he was probably about 240 last year, so he's got more lean mass on him because of the weightlifting of winter conditions. So, he'll drop weight as we get into, in spring practice and summer running, where you really get down in weight.
Rich Garcella, Reading Eagle.
Hey, J1, thanks for doing this. Hey, what have you seen from John Lovett so far, and what can you tell us about his background, and what do you expect from him going forward?
Well, first of all, expect some leadership. He's a guy who's a senior, who took the leap of faith to come here to Penn State. I like how he's done a great job of fitting in the room, not try to put himself above guys or beneath guys. So he really has bonded with the guys in the room. I think he's going to bring some explosion to the offense. You can tell he's a guy who played a lot of games. Now he's just trying to find his way. Anytime you transfer into a new school, you're trying to get to know guys. The good thing, we starting a new system that all guys, learn at the same time. And him being in the Big 12, he's been part of Wendy's offense a little bit. So he's going to have a good background of picking the stuff up that we're doing now.
Let's go to Will Pegler with Onward State.
Hey, J1, how's it going?
Hey, Will, how you doing?
Good. So we talked a little bit about it with James on Monday, just with Noah Kane. He was saying you guys would like to get some work out of him here in the second half or so of spring practice. What have you seen from him over the past few months, just in the rehab process and really getting back into football shape? Thank you.
Well, if Noah, he attack everything full steam ahead. And it's no different. Even with this rehab coming back off this injury, he's doing the same thing. He's busting his tail in there with Andy and Tessa and the crew in there. He's diligent into the playbook and every meeting. What I love about him is he's starting to come out of his shell and being a leader in the room. He's such an alpha with his personality when he speaks, and the guys responding to him. I think he kind of really welcomed John in the room, and that was kind of gave John a little freedom to kind of blend in with the guys. So I'm excited. I'm excited for where he's at. He's eager. He's one of those kids who love ball, and he loves everything about football. So he's going to do whatever it takes to get back on this field. Hopefully get him here sooner than later. To at least get some work in him, because he's going to be a big piece of our offense going forward.
Let's go to Tyler Donahue, Lions 247.
Hey, good evening. Hope you're well.
What's up, Tyler?
I wanted to bring it back to Keyvon Lee and Kazai Holmes as well. Last time we had you on one of these calls, you were coming to the realization that they were going to play a lot more than you thought they would last fall. What did you see from them during that final stretch, and how does that unexpected usage the last fall kind of springboard them into 2021?
Well, for me, late in the year when you played those guys, you always want to protect freshmen. It was a lot on their plate. We was in a funk, offensively as a team. And it was good to go in Michigan and watch those kids come out of their shell. It was good we can say we want to go rush for 130 some yards in your first start versus Michigan, who at that time we both was in the same situation. Maybe they had one win, we had 0 win. And really watch Keyvon push us to go really was a big reason why I think we won that game. We finally got the ground game going. We all know we're a better team when they to run the ball. So I thought, and I was really proud of Keziah, the last game. Those getting that end zone for him was huge. He scored twice in that game and was able to run with confidence, and because it's so much pressure on these kids. They all highly recruit and they think it's going to be easy. And then you come to a room where it's an athlete and you weren't expecting to play, and all of a sudden your number was called, and now you got to not only go play, you got to go be the guy. And I thought those kids down the stretch really did a great job of handling that. You can see their confidence now of feeling like they belong on this team. Really excited to see what they do this spring. Do they take the next step? do they fall behind? Because my challenge is them. It's like in this room, we got 4 or 5 guys that done started a college football game. I mean, this thing is wide open. Who's going to compete? Are we going to take a back seat once Noah come? Are we going to push Noah for the job? You know, that's been the mentality. You know, I tell all the kids, you don't take a back seat to nobody. You compete and you get what you earn. And I think we're in a great place overall with the whole room.
Ben Jones, statecollege.com.
Hey, I'm curious, when you joined the staff, how long did it take you to kind of feel like you were a member of the staff, and how long, how can you help some of these new guys sort of feel integrated into, the staff, since you have so many new faces?
Well, I think the biggest thing is communicate, tell the guys some of the ins and outs so they don't walk into it for the first time, because it is hard when you don't know right from left. And, when you work with James, I mean, he's 100 miles per hour on everything, from a text message, from a group message to a recruiting message to getting on the phone with this kid. I mean, it's amazing to work for a guy who got his hands on everything and be functional on everything. So you just try to tell them what to look out for, build sounding board for them. For me, I hit the ground running, but also had great friends. I mean, I had Sean Spencer here. I had Ricky Ronnie. So I walked into a place where I knew guys. So I tried to do the same thing for John Scott when he got here. I'm trying to do the same thing for Dex. I did it for Taylor, just to kind of let them know what to be prepared for, because I don't care who you are, you're an adult or a kid. When your first time stepping into something new, it's still new. Where do I go? What room I'm in. So, and then some of these guys coming here in the COVID year when everything was shut down, we don't know which meeting room is what. So it's been an experience. We all kind of take care of each other, like a family does.
Go to Audrey Snyder with The Athletic.
Hey, J1. I was wondering if you could kind of describe, how would you describe a Mike Yurcich offense? What do you like about it? And how's the progression been so far?
Well, for me, it's something I'm very comfortable with, being in the Big 12, playing at West Virginia, coaching at West Virginia. And we did a lot of some similarity stuff. He followed Dana Holgerson and I coached for Dana Holgerson at West Virginia. When Dana left, Mike came in as the OC behind him. So it's a lot of the same principles we did at West Virginia. Mike got his own spin of some of the stuff that he does in the offense. You see a lot of what the Big 12 did. You see a lot of what he did at Oklahoma State, some of the stuff at Ohio State. And it's a blend of everything. And some of the stuff we did here that he thought fit his offense that we did well. And I'm excited for where it's going. I think the fans going to be excited. I think the kids are very excited because an opportunity to play with an up-tempo offense again. And, and really when you play like this, it limits a lot of things what a defense is going to be able to do to you from a defense schematic way. You won't see all the blitz that you normally see versus a team that, slow pace, it's going to be fun. I'll tell you that.
Peter Terpstra, WTAJ.
Hey, Coach, I'm just curious, what is Journey Brown's involvement kind of with the team? Is he out there with you guys? Do you see him, I don't know, maybe pursuing coaching down the line?
Yeah, he's around. I mean, he was here at practice Monday helping around with the guys. He's still figuring this thing out. It's hard to speak for the kid because I can't understand what he's going through as much as I want to. I mean, I tried to do it as a coach, and I know how hard it was for me last year, not having him and seeing him looking 100% healthy, and then you realize you can't coach that kid. He can't get out there and play. So, I mean, it's hard. I mean, any one of us on this call, you've been doing something you love to do and you've been really good at it, and it's taken away and you have no control of it. So I don't know what's next for Journey. I'm trying to help him figure it out. The next thing for him is get his degree, and then kind of let him fill out what he want to do. Because coaching ain't for everybody. It's got to be something you want to do, because I mean, we put a lot of hours in, and you got to be committed to it. Because I know for me, when I first got out, when I was done, I ran from it for a few years. I remember Rich Rodriguez tried to give me a grad assistant job. I was like, nah, I'm good. I'm going to coach high school for a little while. And then I realized I was putting the same type of hours. So I said, let me go to college. So, him just, my biggest thing for Journey is just be there for Journey. Be there for him. Be a dad, be a coach, whatever he needs. And that's what I'm doing right now. He's still around me every week. So we kind of help him through this process.
We got time for 2 more questions. We'll go to Dan Galen with Penn Live.
Hey, J1, you're getting Devin Ford in year 3. What have you kind of seen from him, through this offseason program, and where do you think he can take strides forward, specifically in this new offense?
Well, for Devin, it's like we say it every year, and he is one of the most talented kids on our team, even as a running back. But at some point, we got to stop talking about how talented you are, and you got to put it together. You got to put it together for a whole season. I thought he did some really good stuff for us. I thought he played well versus Ohio State. I thought he did some good stuff versus Nebraska. And the Rutgers game, he came back off of injury. Then he got hurt. And then when you open the door for young guys, I mean, they took advantage of it. So for him, it's just better to put a whole season together. I still believe in that kid. I still think he bring a present to what we do offensively, running the ball, catching the ball in the return game. I still believe in his potential as a player. Now we just got to get it. We all talking about what potential. Potential is nothing if you don't tap into it. It's time for him to take the next step. It's going to be his third year. I think for him, the best thing right now I can tell you about him is you can see the maturity taking over in him. He's starting to calm down. He's starting to focus in on himself, being a better student, which can allow you to be a better football player. Because I tell my guys all the time, if you handle the stuff off the field, it's going to make the stuff on the field easy for you because you're not going to have that many distractions. And now you can focus on doing the things you love and playing ball. And so that's been a message all spring. And I think the kids really taken to it.
Last question, New Bias Wilborn, Penn Live, or Pittsburgh Post-Gazette.
I was about to say, you had an announcement for me? There's a lot of Penn Live. Anyway, with Noah in particular, what have you seen with him as he's continuing to work to come back from injury? What's some things that have encouraged you in his return?
I mean, I see his work ethic. I'm around, I'm very present with my guys. That's all we got is time with this whole COVID year. Ain't nothing else I could do. So I see his work ethic in the training room. I see him working out with them. I see him running, all the things you want to see from a guy who's coming off an injury. And I see the eagerness that we all see in him when we watch him play as a player, when you guys talk to him through the media. He's that same guy. He's very talented. He's the guy that I think we can definitely win the Big Ten with. But also he's a guy we need him for a whole season. Unfortunately, we haven't had that yet. His freshman year, he get a high ankle sprain. You hate it. Injuries happen. It was good to get him back coming from the bowl game, and it sucked. I think it was play 2 in the first game where his injury happened. It was unfortunate because that kid worked his tail off to be the guy. I mean, it was going to be fun watching him and Journey Brown go at it, and feed off each other. I mean, it ain't doubt in my mind at that point, having all those guys together, we had the best running back room in the country because it wasn't just about their skill set, it was their mindset. I mean, they felt like they were the best player when they touched the field. And that's what, with any kid, that's what football is. It's a mindset, it's a belief, right? That I am the guy and I am the best player on the field. And we lost that when we lost those guys because the confidence in the room went out. And as a coach, it's hard when you're the only one building confidence and being a leader. You're a better team when the players lead. So I think we back to that area. Really excited. Like I said, I'm really excited about this whole group. I think you guys will be too. I think we got a chance to be pretty good. I don't know how good yet, but I'm excited about what they're going to be able to show on this field.
All right. Thank you, J1. Appreciate it, everybody.